Do you ever wish you could boondock, but you can't quite figure out where to go?
We have tips on finding free overnight stays for you and your RV.
And then we might get a little carried away with our gadget of the week.
Oh man. And did we ever tell you about a Goofy USA destination that we used to own?
All that and more is on this week's episode 319 of the StressLess Camping RV podcast.
You can find all kinds of deals, discounts, and other helpful tips at our home on the web at stresslesscamping.com, along with the show notes for this episode, 319.
Thank you for joining us and StressLess Camping.
I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time,
like we are right now in this Rockwood Mini Light,
looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts. I'm going to open a beverage that I got at
you should.
Pop's Soda Ranch.
Yeah, you should drink this one by yourself because it's butter-flavored soda pop. Yesterday he tried a dill pickle flavor. You can find that video on our YouTube channel.
Well, no, it's on Instagram.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On, all those
on the social
socials.
Places. Sorry.
Today we're going to try
butter-flavored soda pop
with pure cane sugar.
Honestly, usually these things have barely a flavor of what's written on the label,
right,
and then just the taste of sugar.
Yeah, pretty much. So
we'll give it a taste. We'll taste, you'll drink.
All right, here we go. Butter-flavored soda pop. That is the weirdest soda pop I have ever tasted, and I get no butter whatsoever. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's just weird.
All right, let's see. You got to smell it for butter. It smells like popcorn butter.
Oh, does it?
Uh-huh.
Well, smell it. It has absolutely no smell.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it feels like I have butter on my lips.
I don't smell butter.
Yeah, I can taste butter, but butter pop is not.
Might be, well, it's in, so at Pop's they have an aisle called Soda Disgusting.
Soda Disgusting. And that's where you find butter flavor and dill pickle flavor and, I don't know, worm guts and I don't know. Who knows what those flavors are.
That's just weird.
Yeah, it is.
That is, that's a nope. I'm still going to drink it.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's go forward by moving backward and do a little more of that history of RVing and camping and things like that from Reserve America. Today we'll talk about the air mattress and the sleeping bag because those two go together pretty well. The air mattress, let's start with that. The history of mattresses, sleeping mattresses, probably not just for camping, but always, was bulky, horsehair-filled mattresses that were too heavy to drag into the forest. So early campers had to contend with sleeping on the cold, hard ground. Luckily, ingenuity came to the rescue.
Yeah, they made mattresses that pop faster. So in 1889, the first air mattress was invented in Reading, Massachusetts, or Reading, Massachusetts. I don't know, I'm just reading right now. Original design is still in use today, and I bet it deflates when another person gets on the mattress with you.
So in the 1960s, actually, I think this was made this a little better. Closed cell, I'm sorry, I misread what I was going to read. This is not really about air mattresses. Well, I guess it is. Anyway, closed cell foam pads debuted in the U.S. Now, I guess that means foam pad as opposed to air mattresses, but also air mattresses now are usually made with a lot of cells of air. So if there gets to be a little hole, one cell might deflate, but not the entire mattress. So I think that's definitely, I don't know when that happened, but that is definitely a betterment of the air mattress design.
Remember, we had a mattress, you'd squish it so it'd roll up tight, but it had foam inside.
Yeah.
And the foam, it's sort of self-inflating.
Yeah, but they were still pretty thin. But anyway, so that's it. Self-inflating and manually inflated pads followed in the 60s, and pretty much, I guess, are the same thing that you people use today. We do use an air mattress on our cot when we go tent camping.
Yeah, and it doesn't deflate, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
Our truck camper is inflated.
Right.
It's a flated truck camper.
Yes.
And it's held up great so far.
Yeah. All right, let's momentarily talk about the sleeping bag, which of course is a must-have for hikers and tent campers, but even RVers.
Yeah,
we ourselves use an RV super bag, which is pretty much a great big sleeping bag.
Yeah.
But ours, I'll put a little ad, I guess, in. Ours have sheets that they have Velcro tabs on the sheets and the RV super bag, and so they Velcro together. And then on laundry day, we just tear out the sheets from the Velcro, throw it in the wash, and then stick it back to the sleeping bag when we're done.
Yeah, it's been with us for 6 years now and held up super great.
Yeah.
But in the 1800s, European designs of sleeping bags were combinations of sheepskins lined with wool, a sewn-over blanket with a rubber bottom, or bags made of reindeer fur. Boy, that sounds itchy.
That sounds fun. Good thing we didn't camp in the 1800s, right?
Right?
In 1942, the U.S. Army issues purpose-designed slumber bags. I guess before they weren't sleeping wasn't the purpose? I don't know. I think before that was like the beds. Anyway, they were heavy and bulky, but they were eventually replaced with down-filled bags, which was the precursor to today's modern synthetic-filled sleeping bag.
Yep, and
Now that's where Reserve America stops, but I wanted to know a little bit more about modern synthetic-filled sleeping bags, and so I found that in the 1950s is when synthetic bags appeared. The pioneer technology was from a Norwegian brand that I didn't even write down because I did not want to butcher the pronunciation. But anyway, it was a Norwegian brand.
Hood. It's a sleeping bag.
Early iterations were considered budget-friendly options to down and not often used for intense mountaineering. And down really still is the standard, right? That's the best kind of sleeping bag. It's lightweight, it's dries quicker, it's very warm, very insulating. Of course, if you're allergic to down, none of those are advantages, and you need a synthetic filled sleeping bag.
Yeah, but you could say if you go camping with your friends and you have that sleeping bag, it would be birds of a feather flocked together.
My goodness. I was hoping to give the pun alert a rest this week.
It was the butter soda.
Oh, that's it. You're drunk on butter soda.
I'm having a sugar rush.
Well, you can tell that we're at a campground. I hope you can tell that we're at a campground. We are at a campground. We're in, where are we? Illinois right now. We're on our way to Indiana.
For the frog rally.
Yeah, we're at a campground called Camp a While, which is just south of Atlanta, Illinois, which, if you don't already know, is the home of the the American Giant Museum, Muffler Man Museum that we refer to. So we'll probably take a run up there tomorrow. It's just a few miles away. Anyway, while we were home last week and getting ready and, packing up, and most things were already packed, which was an advantage if we had to worry about this, but we had a really big storm, a monsoon storm, and I never did find out for sure if it was a lightning strike or someone, slipped on the road and hit a power pole, but our power went out for about an hour and a half. And that's really unusual. We've had like super momentarily power outages at this house before, but having the power out for more than an hour, and it was a huge area of our town that was out.
When we lived in Northern California, the power company would shut off the power for days at a time as a preventative measure.
Yeah.
And that's to say that we became accustomed to having our RV as sort of an emergency shelter or kind of a place to go when the power went out and all of that, or for evacuation.
Right.
And one of the reasons we really like our power and lithium system from ABC Upfitters is it's just reliable. So if the power goes out, we don't care. We can go in the camper and, run the appliances and even watch TV if we want to, or play with a computer and all of that. Because our solar and lithium system, all designed by Mastervolt and installed by ABC Upfitters, has just been reliable as heck.
Yep. Perfectly good. So when if the power goes out at home, we don't worry. We just go camp in the front yard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or the backyard, or wherever the camper's packed at the moment.
And
wherever the camper's sitting at the moment. I don't know what I just said, but...
But there's been more and more of these power outages all over the place, and issues with evacuations and such. So it's just another reason to have a reliable system, Mastervolt power system, installed by ABC Upfitters. And if that's something that's of interest to you, no matter where you live, you can give them a call at 574-333-3225.
That's 574-333-3225, or use this QR code to see their page on our website at StressLessCamping.com.
So we mentioned that we're going to the Frog Rally, which is the Forest River Owners Group. And there are hundreds and hundreds of RVs that show up there at the Elkhart County 4-H Fairgrounds. And we give 3 seminars during the week or so, whatever length of time the Frog Rally is. We give 3 seminars. We get to spend time with our buddy Mike Sokol, and a lot of times some of you are there. But one of the presentations we give is our favorite apps. And a portion of that are apps for finding great off-grid camping or boondocking. And so I'm going to mostly just turn it over to Peggy so I can enjoy this beautiful butter soda. She does this presentation for the most part.
Okay, and the reason for that is Tony is our primary driver. I'd say 99.5% of the time Tony drives. I drove for a couple of hours today.
Yeah, pulled right into the gas station, no problem.
I did. Whew. I normally am the navigator, and so I am the one, like, while Tony's driving, I'm checking apps, I'm looking for a place to stay tonight, I'm looking for the next place to put gas in the truck, or to put coffee in our bodies, or where we can pull over to eat our lunch or whatever.
Or have some butter soda.
Or buy a butter soda. I am really the apps user. If I am driving and I want Tony to look something up, I have to say, go to this place, go to the bottom right corner and click on here, look for the icon that's...
Yeah, I mean, we each practice, a lot, and Peggy has just really gotten good at navigating the apps while I make sure not to hit much out there.
That's good too.
Yeah. Although I said not hit much.
Not hit
I didn't
much.
say I don't hit anything.
So we're going to talk about places to stay for free. And the first app, of course, that I'm going to talk about, which is really our favorite, is Harvest Host / Boondockers Welcome. Harvest Host is a membership program that you pay by the year, and then you have access to thousands of businesses and private properties where you can stay overnight with no camping fee. Now, I'm gonna just put it right out there. People say, well, it's not really free because I'm expected to buy something. Well, yeah, I mean, these guys are letting you stay for free on their property. It would be nice if you would, go in their restaurant or buy something from their store. That is, the polite thing to do. And so that's not really where we're going here. We're just talking about apps, but I know that people have that problem with Harvest Host, and I just want to say it's not a problem for us. We're going to go to dinner anyway, or we're going to buy some beer at a brewery, or we're going to get eggs from somewhere. We might as well get them fresh from the farm. And
we have a discount for Harvest Host too. So we'll put a link in the show notes, and it's one of the ads that pops up on our website. Well, for example, the night before Frog, we're staying at a Harvest Host with our friends Tony and Tina from TNT RV.
Yep.
So we're making it social.
So the Harvest Host app is available on iOS and Android devices. And of course, there's also a website, which is really helpful in planning. There's also a really good messenger kind of thing. So if I have a reservation, or if we are hosting someone that has a reservation, it's a good way to keep in touch with people. So it's a nice app, and I think it's a wonderful, great program.
Well, and as we've said before, one of the things I like about Harvest Host is, this campground where we're staying tonight is great, but it's a campground. Harvest Hosts, there are often, really memorable experiences.
Yes.
We've stayed at museums and railroad places and breweries and wineries, and there's golf course. And so it's an experience as much as anything. So yes, support the business, but also know that you're getting more out of it than typically at a campground.
Right. So similarly, the next one that I'll talk about is RV overnights. Now, this is a relatively new program. It works, I'm going to be honest, we haven't done a lot with it. It works very similarly to Harvest Host. We did join in case there are locations, if I can't find something on Harvest Host, then I also look on RV overnights, but frankly, a lot of it is overlapping. So, if you haven't joined one or the other yet, it's probably worth it for you to compare the two, but I'm just going to say that we so love Harvest Host that we're not likely to make a full switch. Yeah. Both RV Overnights and Harvest Host seems to have a majority of their, free overnight stays on the East Coast, and then a fair amount on the West Coast, and that middle of the country is kind of barren. But we're there. So if you're ever near Albuquerque, give us a call. We'll host you.
That's a component of Harvest Host called Boondockers Welcome.
Right.
And they bought that company and integrated it into Harvest Host too. So some of the places are people's residences or farms or things like that.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, RV Overnights is only businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is iOverlander. Now, I'm going to fully disclose that I no longer use iOverlander. I used to, and then they have a paid version, and I decided for me that the free version was pretty limited, and it was all things that I could find in other apps that I use, and so I didn't pay for the subscription. So it might be something that you find that the subscription version or even the free version is perfect for what you need. I want to mention it. It's not a bad app. I'm just being honest, and if you ask me any specific questions, I may not know the answers because I haven't been using it.
Hey, if you're visually impaired, can you still use iOverlander?
Okay, so iOverlander does have worldwide coverage. So, in fact, when I open the app, it doesn't take me to somewhere in the United States. It takes me somewhere in the middle of Europe, which is weird. But also, if you're a world traveler, this may be a reason that you really prefer iOverlander because you want that, coverage on outside of the United States or outside of North America. It is available on both iOS and Android devices. It is a crowdsourced database, as a lot of these are. So you can go in and you can read reviews. You can see what other people have written or have added. Now, for all of these things, I think this is I better stop and caution you, especially when it's crowdsourced. That means anybody could have put information in there.
Even us.
So trust but verify, as we've said in the past, trust but verify. I don't just read the top review, the most recent review. I read several reviews, but I do try to stick to the most recent, because if someone says this place is terrible or this place is thriving, and then that was 3 years ago, who knows if it's the same now? Maybe they no longer allow, maybe they just started to allow, maybe they, got new owners, maybe they shut down. There's all kinds of things. So just really, I'm sure that these app, what do they call them, developers, these app moderators try to keep things up to date, but do your due diligence and make sure that what you're seeing on an app is really true. There are free campsites, wild camping areas, water fill stations, dump stations, and more.
So that's a good place to find dump stations then on iOverlander?
iOverlander is one place. Another place, which is the place I look for them, is Campendium. Now, I cannot tell you why I use Campendium and not iOverlander. Really, they're very, very similar. Campendium is part of Road Trippers, and there is a free version which I use, and there is a paid version if you belong to Road Trippers. Now, here's another, not that it's bad, Road Trippers and RV Life are kind of competitors. We have been affiliated and loving RV Life. And
we have
RV,
a discount for them,
and we
too.
have a discount and RV Trip Wizard for a really long time, and it is not something that I'm likely to change because I really, really like them. Maybe I would really, really like Road Trippers if I joined that, but I don't really see the need to join both. So again, there are probably hundreds of apps that I don't even know about that are just as good. I'm just telling you the ones I know, the ones I use or have used, and why I like them or why I know that people like them. So my understanding is that when Campendium became part of Road Trippers, the app is no longer now available to Android users, which is kind of sad for Android users. Just get an iPhone and then you won't have to worry about it.
Android shaming.
However, I believe that even I should recognize that since it's now part of Road Trippers might make the app only available if you pay for Road Trippers even with an iPhone. So who knows? I may not be able to use Campendium forever. I don't know what happens, but if I can't, then I'll just move on to one of the others. For example, maybe the Dyrt.
Which is D-Y-R-T.
Yes, spelled D-Y-R-T.
The Dyrt.
The Dyrt.
We interviewed the lady from the Dyrt.
We have interviewed the Dyrt.
We got the down and dirty.
That app is available on iPhone and Androids. And there is a website version, which I, think there is for all of these things. But, I'm trying to say, what do you look at when you're sitting in the passenger seat? And while I could just as easily open Safari on my phone and look things up, the apps are awfully handy. Also, if you have a paid membership, you usually have, you're logged in, and then when you open the app, you're already logged in, and you don't have to remember your password to go find your password and all that nonsense. So you can find on the Dyrt, now you got me saying that, you can find free places, like parking. Oh, I should have said this at the beginning too. When we talk about boondocking and free places, when we talk about boondocking, we're not meaning like go out in the middle of nowhere. We're talking about anywhere that you spend the night without being hooked up to water and electricity and stuff like that.
And even Harvest Hosts, now some of the sites have power and or water.
Sure.
And some have both even.
Right.
And so it's not just pure boondocking even on those sites.
Right. But this is what we're talking about, is places that you can stay for free. So that also includes things like Walmart parking lots and Cracker Barrel parking lots and other restaurants, and some of these apps have like all the casinos, and weirdly to me some hotels let you sleep in their parking lot. I don't understand why.
I don't get that either.
Because they're not selling you a room. But it is true. And so some of these apps have like all those places. Most of these apps, I think, have all those places listed. Every Cracker Barrel, every Walmart. And then that's a time when it's a good idea to look at some of the user input. Like, oh, I went there last week and they said they're no longer able to allow overnight parking. Well, if the app hasn't caught up to that fact yet, or hasn't been able to verify, then the app might be wrong. So, again, don't just open one app, see one place, and just go there thinking you're going to spend the night, because, there might be updates. The Dyrt, though, is where I find fresh water. So that is something that I don't find on a lot of other apps. Even the Harvest Host has dump stations, which is funny to me. But fresh water is actually a little bit more of not more of a concern, but just as much of a concern of getting rid of the waste is getting the fresh water in. And not a lot of apps have that. So I like the Dyrt for if we are looking for a place to get fresh water.
To wash off the dirt?
To wash off the dirt. Okay, so while I was researching for this article that I wrote, which I'm pretty much reading to you right now.
Oh, yeah, it's at StressLessCamping.com.
If you prefer to look at things, and there's links and links to, and you can see the logos and stuff like that, which I'm probably covering my face with today too, so you don't have to keep looking at us. But anyway, as I was researching, I found an app called, I'm pretty sure it would be pronounced SEKR, SEKR, SEKR. What I'm going to tell you is just things that I've learned from reading about them on the internet. I did download the app and I looked at it, but pretty much I found that it's available for iOS and Android. There is a free version. Even you do have to put in an email address even for the free version, but that is fine. I just didn't want to commit to that, so I didn't look at a lot. There were user reviews, and there were, notes about whether it allowed overnight parking. Now, some of those reviews were a few years old. I don't know how much this app is used, but I also saw options like museums and attractions and propane. That's not one that has come up very often.
And
so
propane accessories.
Propane and fresh water. So maybe I should really look into joining this one. Dump stations, showers, free overnight parking and paid overnight parking and camping. So it really seems like a good kind of overall. It does seem to be sort of more van friendly, more smaller rig friendly.
Yeah, that's something to know about Harvest Hosts. Again, I keep going back because
Right,
that's the one
yeah.
I'm most familiar with. You have to have a fully self-contained RV.
Yes.
So you can't, like a teardrop won't work because you're cooking outside and
Right.
you're using the potty outside.
So if you have something like a teardrop or any kind, if you're a car camper and you don't have that kind of facility, a lot of these are going to go off of your options because they don't have restroom facilities or anything. That's
Right.
kind of what we're looking for, is places that have nothing, because we bring everything with us.
Know before you go so that you know where you can go if you have to go.
Oh boy.
Or else you may just have to go.
Oh my goodness. So I did notice on SEKR that there is a paid version, and you could unlock like street view and terrain view and cell coverage, which is another thing I wish now that I had covered more carefully in the other apps. I can't tell you offhand if they cover that. A lot of apps I think probably will tell you, like in a certain location, what your cell coverage might be. I'm sorry that I didn't look. But what I want to also do is, as I've been reading these, I'm looking at the thing and reading, and I don't want you to watch me reading. So I'm probably going to have some like screen share from my phone of a lot of this stuff. So I'll try, as I'm going through that, I'll try to point out things like if they show water and dump stations and cell coverage and things like that. I'll try to make it more clear. Let's see. And then I have RV Parky. Now, just by its name, you can tell that RV Parky probably has campgrounds, which it does, but it also has some information on whether overnight parking is allowed at places like Cracker Barrel and Walmart and things like that. It also shows, national, state, county, and local parks, and indicates whether they have free or paid overnight parking.
On the subject of Walmart and Cracker Barrel, the companies do permit you to stay there, but we have a whole article that we'll share in the show notes about why that is not true everywhere and why it's going away. There are more restrictions being placed on it, mostly because of some of us are not well behaved.
Right.
You know who you are. So anyway, we'll share that article with you too.
Yeah. So that's what I have. Those are the ones that I know of. Again, there's probably hundreds out there that I've never heard of, but these are the ones that I kind of use back and forth, whichever one my finger happens to hit on that day is the one I look at. They all kind of do very similar things. So if you only want one app, give these a look and just see which one, I don't know, feels the best to you. Maybe it's because you like their logo the best. That's how I used to pick football teams in the football pools at work. I like the color of their uniforms.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, so that is my list that I have.
And you can weigh in at our fun and friendly Stressless Campers Facebook group
Right.
on any apps that you use or details that maybe we missed. So great place to weigh in and continue the discussion there.
Yeah, if you have questions about some of these apps and you don't feel like downloading them to find out the answer, post a question in the Stressless Campers Facebook group and I will figure out the answer and send you a screenshot.
Yeah. Hey, so you looking to get a good deal?
Well, aren't we all?
Do you want-
I mean, free camping, hello, it's all what we're
Right.
looking for.
Well, we do have a whole section of our website on not only our favorite gadgets and products and services like these, but many of them we have discounts and deals for you. So we are going to put a link, but if you're looking for a great deal or recommendations on things like, what do I use for water hose or for water filter, whatever, that's all there at our discounts and deals section. Speaking of getting water, like the Wolverine water bags, things like that. So check out our discounts and deals for the best deals on the things you'll need for your stressless camping adventure.
Well, now is the time we remind you video watchers that the next segment is not in this particular video. We are going to do our Goofy USA audibly, and then the video will, of course, be on our
YouTube
channel
under Goofy USA. Funny thing.
I don't remember how it's organized, so I stumble a little bit.
By the way, I don't know if you can hear the cicadas, but they're singing
very
their
loud.
song.
I hope that you can hear us better than you can hear them.
Yeah. So now we're going to show you something that we've used a lot to speed up when we transition from in the house to in the camper. We use these folding totes. And these folding totes, they're like plastic crates if you're listening. And if you're watching, you saw Peggy open it up. They fold flat. They're called Instacrate, I think.
Green Made USA.
I think a few people make the same
Yeah,
tote.
there's a few I saw on Amazon.
We like these for a lot of reasons. One, they hold a fair amount of stuff. Two, a lot of times you go to a grocery store and they want you to bring your own bags. Well, we just have these plastic totes in the back of the back seat of the truck, folded up, and we use those instead. And I know once that tote's full, I'm done shopping. But you know what? Used to be, I could fill that tote for $40, and now it's $100. So phooey on that.
So we use that, as Tony said, we use it when we go grocery shopping. If we have a lot of grocery shopping, we can use 2. We have 3, so.
And they stack.
I don't know if we've ever used all 3 for groceries.
Yeah, that's a Costco run.
Yeah, Costco for sure. And they stack, that's right. And so we can fit them all in the back seat, 2 in a stack on the back seat. We also use them, as you said, to tote things back and forth from the house to the camper and vice versa when we're getting ready for a trip or we've just got back from a trip. Especially if we're not going to be out again for a while and we want to take like everything out. So all the, groceries, all the pantry items and stuff go in and out, in and out. And this just makes it a lot easier to just fill up a tote and carry it in the house and unload it. Like he'll go in and unload a tote while I'm filling up the next tote, and he just goes back and forth. And
Yep. We also use them for the snacks in the truck while we're on these long drives.
So that we have a variety
of snacks. Yep. We've used them for recycling bins when we're camping. It's like, we'll put the clean recycling in the tote.
Yeah.
We also have used them for like potlucks. It's like, bring your dish and your dishes and your utensils and napkins, just load it in a tote.
Just load it all in a tote and carry it to wherever campsite that we're going to.
They're inexpensive, they're handy, and we really like them.
Well, now Tony's going to take over.
Ooh.
I'm going to give my mouth a break because I talked so much.
I made some notes for myself.
Oh, you go ahead and hold that.
What we have this week, I got a chance to get a sneak peek at the Forest River Sunseeker 2030 RP. And what this is it is a B+, although some people are arguing with me on that. But anyway, it is a small RV based on the Ram ProMaster chassis. So it's a front-wheel drive, It's about the size of a Class B, but because, you know, the front is a van and the back is a motorhome, you get more space than you would, those cicadas, holy, you get more space than you would in just a Class B. And something I liked about this, they really prioritize the bathroom, so there's a good shower in there, unlike it's rare to find a Class B, and it's a dry shower too.
Wow.
A dry bath, rather.
Wow.
There is a sink in the
dry
bathroom.
Shower.
A dry
That's
shower.
Really a good thing.
No. There
Sorry.
is a sink in the bathroom, but it's really tiny in a corner. It's kind of, I don't know, I would have to see how the toilet and the sink interact because they're pretty close to one another.
Well, when you have that small of a space, you gotta...
Yeah. But what I like about it is the whole back has one of those lifty beds, and when it's up you have this huge cargo bay, and there's also benches on either side, so lots of cargo space in this thing. It also has no propane aboard, so it's got a Truma Aventa air conditioner, which is a really good air conditioner, but a Truma combination heater, water heater, but it runs off the gasoline. So there's no propane, you just fill gas, which I really like, simplifies things. So you might say, well, how do you cook? You cook with an induction cooktop. So it's a small package. I think it's $139,000. I thought it was a good price for an RV that really offered a lot in a small space. I'll put a link. I wrote about it, and you can find it at rvtravel.com.
For people who are intimidated or, dare I say the word, afraid of propane, and for people who misuse their propane, a no propane rig is kind of a good thing.
Well, it's just simpler, right? I mean, and it also means that you don't have to stop in a motorhome to fill propane, which is a propane. You just put gas in the thing, and then you're ready to go.
Okay, last week's question of the week was, I don't remember how I asked it exactly, do you know your tow vehicle's numbers? Do you know the numbers on your travel trailer?
8675309.
On your towable and your tow vehicle, if that's the kind of rig that you have. Thank you all for answering. Thank you, Smart Alex, for talking about weight capacities and things like that. We highly encourage, if you have never figured those numbers out, to look at your numbers on your stickers and use the calculator. We'll put a link to our calculator that tells you if your tow vehicle is sufficient for your trailer that you're towing. And I was going to say something else, and I completely forgot what it was.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we encourage you to also have your rig weighed.
Yes, which we're going to do next week at the Frog Rally.
Right, and when it's done right, you weigh your whole rig together, and you weigh your trailer without your truck, and, you know, all those things. So we will put some links about those things in the show notes.
Right, which will be at the bottom of the page at StressLessCamping.com podcasts. There's a podcast tile. Click on that. This is episode 319. This week we're asking, you know, we've talked about our favorite apps. What are yours? Do you have any updates on the apps Peggy shared?
Do you have any questions about the apps that we talked about?
Do you know what an app is?
Do you know what an app is?
How about a nap?
An app, yeah, not a nap, just an app.
Oh.
Do you have ideas for other maybe kind of apps that you'd like us to talk about? This was kind of one segment of our seminar on apps. I do sections on different apps for different things. So if you have questions about apps, any kind of apps really, go ahead and ask them in the StressLess Campers Facebook group, and I will respond and help you through your question, or you'll give me an idea for a future episode.
Yeah, that's what we have for you this week. But did you know that we do a once-a-week free newsletter? And if you're on that list, there's a link to how you can enter to win a Camco drain lock, which is like the hottest RV gadget right now.
That's right. You have to do it through the newsletter.
Yep. So if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, just visit our website at StressLessCamping.com, and at the bottom of any page, there's a newsletter sign up. There's usually a newsletter sign up in the article too. And if it's your first time visiting, well, welcome.
Welcome.
And you'll also see a pop-up about the newsletter. So we like our newsletter.
Yeah, we do.
Hopefully you do too.
We also like for you to receive our newsletter.
You will find the show notes for this episode
Episode 319.
at StressLessCamping.com. Just tap the tile that says podcasts, and scroll down to where you'll find episode 319. It'll be at the top this week, but eventually not.
We also encourage you to check out, as we've said before, our favorite RV products and services. That used to be called just the shopping page, but we realized that it's a little more than that. Although if you want to do any shopping based on anything we've said, there's links in that page.
Yeah.
There's links to our Amazon affiliate. We really appreciate if you use that link when you're buying things on Amazon. You know, they give us a couple of pennies, but every little bit counts.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly, we're not doing this for our looks. Of course, we're in all the social places, but you can start at StressLessCamping.com, and from there, once you're done reading articles and sharing them with your friends, family, and even people you dislike, you can jump off to all the places where you know we're all wasting time.
If you're listening to this on a podcast app, know that the StressLess Camping podcast is free and will always be free on any podcast catcher that you like. And know also that we are saving you a seat around our virtual campfire.
And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, we appreciate likes and subscribes.
Do you need a moment to find those? Go ahead and see the like and click it. Click subscribe.
Fantastic.
Now also, if you want to share, you can pause us, hit the share button, run over to Facebook and share it, and then come back.
Yeah.
Did you do it? Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. But those likes and subscribes, they tell YouTube people are enjoying the podcast and getting some value. And it's a little thing for you, but it's a big deal for us.
It is indeed.
All right. Did you read something you liked on the website? That's another place that you can share. And again, a little thing for you, a big deal for us.
Big deal for us.
It really does help.
It really helps us a lot, and we appreciate you and your help.
With that, we appreciate your being here with us and the cicadas and the butter soda, which I drank all of and now I'm regretting.
Ugh.
Thank you again for being here, and
StressLess Camping.